Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of MES podcast. And it could be, Bulgar, our most depressing yet.
I thought you were going to say
Genuinely.
it could be the last episode.
You, you never know. It depends on how badly this one goes. But genuinely, one, we haven't got John with us because he's celebrating his anniversary. Congratulations to him.
Oh my god, the game totally ruined his anniversary.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well,
I just realized that. Let's hope not.
You would hope they're
Yeah.
above. You'd hope they're above Barcelona, but you never know.
You never know. I hope
But-
my relationship isn't above Barcelona.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm sad and depressed about Barca, I want her to be depressed and sad about Barca as well.
Really no, but it's nice to have them like outside of it, and then they can lift you up. Like, because then they don't really understand what's going on. And it's like, come on, it's fine. We can think about something else.
I guess you can have two, right?
I don't know how they do it over in Peru.
No, just joking.
How many women were you hanging out with on the beach then before you decided to leave and watch the game?
One. But she's my best friend. Well, she's not my best friend. She's like a friend I know from like really, really small. You know, like that typical. You say it's like
Okay.
a cousin from a long distance.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
Anyway, come on. Barca, Bulgar, because I think we've got about 150 things to talk about, and I'm sure this is going to get ranty, and we're going to go down tangents, and I know I've got quite a few things I want to say, but do you want to just open us up and just start splurting your thoughts on that pretty disastrous evening, though, for Barcelona, where it feels like everything wrong with this season was sort of played out on a football match, right?
Yeah, I think the Supercopa final was sort of the summary of everything. You just said it, like everything that's wrong with Barcelona came to be. We're talking about individual performances were not up to scratch. I think that if we take the Supercopa game, this is actually a very good analogy. Like you take out this Supercopa game is the worst game I think we've had probably under Xavi in terms of like overall performance, and then you compare that to the Supercopa of last season, and that is basically the other side of the spectrum, the best game we've ever had with Xavi. I think we've come a very long way since that, not in a positive sense. I think we have regressed. I think we have regressed quite a lot. And this game, there you never know, right? El Clásico is always, a derby can always be, something can happen. It can spread into different moments.
Yeah.
Like, nobody was expecting this. Not even Real Madrid fans were expecting this game right from the get-go, like, to be how many minutes in? Already, like, 11 minutes in and being 2-0 up. They weren't going to expect that, not even Vinicius. But the thing for me is that when you take a look at this game, initially how we started, just everything went wrong. You know, individual mistake from Koundé for that first goal, I think. But also there's a problem, I think, overall that we didn't press good for the very first, for the first two goals. Because you can have the high line, but then there are other aspects of that overall shape that your team must have so that they're, what do you call it? They're not compact enough, but they're defensively sound. What is this? So the midfielders need to press, and then for me, Iñaki Peña was too far out. Like the distance between the center backs and Iñaki Peña was a huge gap. And if you're gonna have, you need to have like this, the super keeper. They always talk about it. You know, Ter Stegen is almost off of the area of the box, and he's sort of that player so that then he can come out running. Courtois does it as well very well. Neuer has done it for everything of his career, and I think that is something that Iñaki Peña, for instance, of course, didn't. It kind of like bang that exposed are one of the issues. Okay, our goalkeeper isn't here. Another issue was bang the center backs. They just completely do the offside trap wrong, and they got it wrong, and Vinicius crossed. And then we saw the midfielders not pressing correctly for that. And I think that overall, once again, it goes back to Xavi putting this formation of four midfielders. And I think that having Roberto play this sort of left midfielder for the very first half, he didn't know who to mark. You have Gundogan, Frankie playing together, Pedri playing at the sort of as the secondary striker, Ferran very close to the flank. Xavi changed tactics for this game, and I think that when you're gonna play against one of your biggest rivals and you just want to be a successful team, I think that you need to have consistency, and the fact that we have never in the season played close to what we played today is just sometimes it can work, sometimes it can go like this, which is horribly wrong.
So you're saying I think a big point people noticed straight away was the suicidal high line, and I agree with your point in Iñaki Peña because he for me is a problem. I'm sorry he is, because you're right. He's rooted to his goal line, eh? He's terrified, and in a game like this you can't be terrified. And you're right, because I mean, one, he's rooted to his goal line. Two, what are we doing on the halfway line 10 minutes in to a Clásico final? What are we doing when they've got Rodrigo and Vinicius up front? What are we doing? Honestly, man, like, what are we doing? Because every other Clásico, Xavi's got it spot on in terms of nullifying really that sort of player, Vinicius. We've seen it several times now sort of be nullified in these Clásicos. Once you cut the threat out of Vinicius, you cut a lot of Real Madrid out. But that's been from keeping him in tight spaces and making Araujo have winnable 1v1s with him. There was no winnable 1v1s because it was balls in behind. It wasn't any ball to feet and then him beating people. It was just balls in behind. And we let them do that. Like, any team in Europe knows you can't do that against that sort of player. It's like playing on the halfway line against Mbappe. You know, you're dead. We did it against Vinicius and Rodrigo. I do not understand that. And of course the midfield is a massive issue. No Busquets obviously to sit in front of that and then sort of dictate things and shield them a bit is a huge issue. And then of course, they haven't got a goalkeeper who they trust behind them.
When I look at the way, look, I don't want to be devil's advocate, but in the sense of like Real Madrid, the way that they have Bellingham now, it allows actually to unlock more of Vinicius and Rodrigo, I think, because he's sort of what Benzema was as a false nine. Whenever Benzema plays as a striker, it was easier because you have these two center backs that just can, put their efforts on trying to cover up Benzema. But now Bellingham, that drops deep, he drops deeper, and I think this game actually he was incredibly when it came to his defensive work. Like, he marked De Jong out of the game, sort of like what Xavi was doing in the very first half, and that was a very big issue. The fact that we could not transition the ball further forward, and overall, I think that Xavi just didn't. He got outsmarted. I think that Ancelotti got the better of him in this game. Yeah. I mean, the first two goals can happen. The first two goals. I mean, it can happen. They were like, that's what Real Madrid do. That's their tactics. That's what Real Madrid can do. The very same thing if Barcelona can put the goals into the back of the net with passes like the one for Ferran, like that. Those are things Barcelona work towards. Real Madrid can expect that. Those are things you're gonna expect to happen. Chances that you're gonna concede. But what I not expect is that the best way to explain this is that Barcelona sort of, it was like individual mistakes, but it wasn't either, because both goals came from long possessions of Madrid. This is the time I've seen Real Madrid have the ball for the longest of time, like in a while. Like, even though they lost possession, still, you can see how much they controlled it.
Oh yeah, I mean, we played into their hands though. So you watch Real Madrid every other game, like even against Atleti, or like when you watch them in La Liga, was it their last two games they scraped through against Mallorca and Alaves? They don't play that good football, Real Madrid, by the way, because teams are good at nullifying them. I don't think this Real Madrid team is like incredible. I think they've got very good players, of course, and I do think if you play to their strengths in a way and let them have that much like ability and space and time on the ball, they're going to be very good. They're a very effective team, but I don't think they're one of the world beater teams where they're like going to blow you out of the water. Having said that, I think with the way they're playing, they could be a good threat for the Champions League this season. But I mean, just to be that exposed against them, I think was awful. But I want to move on to the midfield, honestly, because I think the defence worries me a little bit, because I think I'll start with the defence actually, because this performance to me reminded me a bit of Bayern and stuff, right? Those sorts of games. And I remember in the Bayern games, we were screaming for a back four that we've got today. We were screaming for it. We said, like, if we've got pacey, physical defenders, this wouldn't happen. Well, it just did happen. So I think that's a scary thing. But I do trust that those four defenders, so I think they're going to be fine. Midfield, though, I know we've said it all season, without Busquets, with Pedri always injured, I know he played tonight, but with Xavi injured now as well. Sorry, we are so poor. And I'm actually going to single out. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I wanna know who you single out.
I'm going to make a bit of a twisted take here, because I think he's quite like almost universally loved, or gets like a free pass from the fan base this season. Gundogan for me. Where do you stand on this guy, honestly? Because for me, he's a passenger in most games. He doesn't do enough without the ball. On the ball, he's not sensational. He's sort of just cruising through games. In my opinion, if Sergio Roberto was playing week in, week out, every single minute of every game like Gundogan is, and was playing at that level, people would be saying, get Sergio Roberto out of the team. And I don't know about Gundogan, man. I see all these stats on Twitter after every game, like 100% passes, 83 touches, I think, like, how about watch the game? Instead of these little like stat maps. I mean, he's is he affecting the game that much, really? Because I think Real Madrid dominated us in midfield today. I have a bit... I think the downgrade from Busquets to him, and I know they're very different profiles, and even I'm upset with the way we're using Gundogan this season because I thought he could have been one of our top scorers with how he was at City in the past, but still, I don't know, I just watch him and I'm like, feels a bit like a retirement home from here, more than like a place to kick on his career for me.
It's sort of the same thing for Lewandowski as well, even though he scored that incredible goal today. But you're right. I think that the thing about Gundogan and Lewandowski is that when you're talking about two players in the latter stages of their career, it's difficult for them to kick on in the sense of like, okay, you need to be now the guys to take the mantle. You need to be the face of this club, and I don't think they actually are. What you're saying about Gundogan, I do understand. I do see you. But it all goes back to that Busquets process. If we have that pivot, he works far better. And the reason why Gundogan, for me, hopefully would have brought in, when I look at Gundogan, what I would wanted him to do in this Barcelona team is those runs into the box and score those goals like you were saying. For me, at City, that was his best job. For me, the best way I can say this is like the first goal of City against United in the FA Cup final. That's a perfect Gundogan sort of thing. You know, he just runs to the box, he goes in the right position, bang, scores a golazo. And I think that that's something that now Xavi has been like, okay, Gundogan, you need to be this player that you were before at Dortmund. You need to create from deep. You need to grab the ball. You need to progress. You need to do all this, all that. And yeah, Gundogan can be good at that, but it's sort of like he's also adjusting to that new position, that new role that he hasn't had in a while. So it's very... Like I said, the planning has not really been there because is that the sort of player that you want to, like, if you want to bring that player in, wouldn't you prefer to bring someone who has done that for the entirety of their career? And you say that we already have someone like that in Frankie de Jong that can do that, in my opinion, better. So it's like, I think the plan is a little bit wrong there, but I think we should just need to focus on the game. Like, Gundogan, like you were saying in this game particularly, I think he should have gone out. I would have much rather preferred to see... I mean, it's hard, but I think a midfield of perhaps Frankie, Gundogan, Pedri, and Fermin. For me, that would have been the one I would like. I would have liked that to see because Fermin, I just think he's a good player. And it's tough. It's tough because, you know what? All the goals, the first two goals, looked like, mistakes by the defense, but I think were more a mistakes from the team overall defensively. Team, that's more of a mistake rather than singling one defender.
Fair enough. I just think honestly, like what you made the point about last year to this year and the difference a year can make. Where do we go from here now then? Because I think all season, how poor have we been? By the way, it hasn't been fun to watch Barca this season. By the way, I know we've said it almost every podcast, but the regression has been huge. For me, we're just getting worse. I look at the lineup, I look at the players, I look at the team, and I'm like, we're not going to play good football. We're probably not going to win any trophies. It's like, wow, like the drop off. Like, surely Laporta won't be happy about that. Like, where do we go? Like, what is the rest of the season going to look like? Is it a coach situation? Does Xavi need to change? I definitely think his coaching staff is a little bit of a problem. I know people are picking onto that. I think it might be. I think there's some smarter coaches and teams around Europe. I'll say that than what we've got at Barcelona right now, but. Like, where do we go from here, Bulwarkers? I think that's the point we're at now with Barca. It's like, sometimes when you're on the end of a hammering and you're at the start of the project, you're like, hey, it's a new dawn, isn't it? But we're sort of meant to be like solidifying the project that we sort of started last year, aren't we? And we've literally gone full 360 degrees, haven't we?
I
we've
think
gone all the way back.
It's a project that went wrong. Like, I think, when it came to signing in the summer, I think we regressed. Like, once again, I think we regressed. The signings were just wrong. I think, in my opinion, like I said, the profiles. I think how do I say this? João Felix, Gundogan, these players coming through the door, they always are gonna be exciting, fresh players. But the profiles, I go back again to the profiles. We don't have a winger. The only winger that we have is Rafinha, and he's like those inverted wingers. I want to have a Dembele, a Nico Williams. I want to have a Coman, someone who can touch the line and just spread this team wide. Barcelona has always been built on that in that sense. If it's not the wingers, it's the fullbacks. And you cannot just rely on Alejandro Valde. He's the only player that sort of can do that in this game. The first 30 minutes of the game after the 2 goals, it was all attacking for Alejandro Valde. Everything for Valde. And he's just like 19, 20 years old. Like, what he's going to do? And also, he's not that good when it comes to one-on-ones. Like, you want the ball to him with space in front. You want space in front because that's where he can take advantage of that speed, that athleticism. And since we don't have João Cancelo in this game as well, I wanted to, like, okay, quick question here. If you compare this team to the team of the last year, imagine every player is fit. Which squad do you think is better? Which team do you think is better?
Yeah.
I think
last year's.
Last year's, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah. But I think you always mention profiles like Kessie and stuff. I think, and Dembele, of course, is a big miss. Even like players like Jordi Alba are massive for a team like this. You know, to have that profile at left back, and we see when Balde gets to the byline, it's like, I don't know about you, but when Balde's at the byline, I know full well there's no goal coming from it because he doesn't produce from there. He's a very good left back, and he offers us more than Alba did in so many ways. But at the byline, he's not going to do anything. He's not going to assist or score for us, Balde. He just isn't. But I think, again, you're right. I think you mentioned a lot of episodes that the roadmap that we're trying to build here, right? Like, we in the summer just signed for the sake of signing. There was no profile buying. Like, Gundogan was free and Gundogan was a superb player, and because we were Barcelona, we could convince Gundogan to come, so we just said, go on then. Even though he's an interior and we have Pedri, Xavi, De Jong, Kessie in the squad potentially at the time, you know. Whereas we knew Busquets was going to be leaving, and then we put 3 million on Romeo. I know obviously not a lot of that we can't do a lot about that because of financial fair play and money and whatnot, but again, even at João Felix and João Cancelo, to be fair, I think fits obviously because we needed a fullback, but João Felix, again, great player individually, can be brilliant, but you know, where does he necessarily like fit in this squad? It was all just sort of like, go on then, we'll have you. Yeah, you can fit, you know, you'll do. I've never really seen a squad work like that. I feel like squads are always best when they sort of pinpoint players, they know their positions and they get them in. To be fair, a little bit like we did the season before. I know we mentioned that market quite a lot, but like we got it spot on. Felt like we were building something. The only thing we probably neglected a bit was the fullback positions where we got Bellerin and Alonso in there. But other than that, like, we got it spot on basically in terms of the players we got in. There was Koundé, Christensen and Kessie and Lewandowski, Rafinha. Such a good market. But this year it just feels like everything's gone backwards. I'm not going to lie. Like, watching the games is such a drag. We barely ever win by more than 1 goal. And then even like when we went in the semi-final against Osasuna, it looked like we got a bit of structure back, didn't it? And a bit of like, yeah, okay, we weren't playing incredibly, but we had a bit of like formation in play, and we looked hard to score against at least. I thought the defence looked good, and midfield was a bit better set up, and we weren't doing as much long ball. I don't know, it just felt like a bit more of a complete team performance, a bit similar to last season. And then we go and do that in the final, play a suicidal high line against 2 of the quickest players in world football, play that naive against the Real Madrid team in a final, and just show all of the worst things we've been collecting and collating this season and throw it into one game. Oh my god, I mean, what a terrible evening.
Can I say something that is probably, I don't know if it's going to surprise you or something, but I think this game, it's making me doubt for the very first time.
Have you not doubted before? To be fair, I feel like you've always been quite realistic. Even when we were doing okay, you kind of hammered the sort of roadmap we were going down, I felt.
Yeah, but
I remember when we... Yeah.
But I think that sort of roadmap, it's like, I've always hammered that because I think that's more of a problem of the board. What I'm saying, it's more doubting. I'm doubting for the very first time about Xavi. I'm thinking about like, is it actually... Because when I look at this team, when I look at how he prepared the game, how I looked at just different. I don't know how to explain it. It's weird. It's weird because no player is helping him. Like, in the sense that nobody's playing good. There's not a single name in the start. Like, I mean, Frankie De Jong, Koundé, maybe Araujo, they're the only players that you go like, yeah, he needs to play every single game. But apart from that, it's like injuries. It's not gone the way for Xavi. Like, it's not really got helpful. The whole media is against him and whatnot. But I don't know. I just think he's not helping himself either by being so, like I've been saying, so what's the opposite of being rigid? Like just so flexible in the sense that he just changed his teams every single time. He's not consistent. And I don't like that. I don't like. I think that you need consistency to sort of build a team. And once again, like, look at this. You take a look at the lineup that Ancelotti played in the semifinal. It's exactly the same as the lineup he played here. Like, that's what I want. Why is it so like? Every single game, I kid you not, we have how many Twitter posts and shit we got going on of like, Ferran Torres is benched for this game. Felix is gonna start. Oh my God, Fermin has a chance. No other team has that. No other team has that. That's because Barcelona, there's no consistency. Like if I was Xavi, I'm a manager. I'm gonna play the same team once a week in and week out. I'm gonna pick 23 players in my squad, 23, and I'm gonna have 2 players per position. And I'm just gonna say you're a starter, you're a starter, you're a starter, you're a starter, and then we're gonna go, okay, if you play good, you play bad, then we can talk about how we can shape these roles. Like we can shift them, we can see what happens. But I'm not changing that. For specific games I may, but I need to know my starting 11. Right now, there's no starting 11. I would have liked to see Ferran Torres just gain like a full running of how many games at the start of the season he was playing well. Then he plays well again, and then it's like bang, drop. Then I mean, in fair play, he played good against like Las Palmas and then Osasuna, but it's just continue. Like that's the thing. You need to sort of pull through those hardships to see the end result at the end of the day. Pressure makes diamonds. So that's sort of where I think Xavi gets it wrong. And I just hope that now we're not waiting for the point where we cannot win a single trophy so that he starts doing that, you know?
Yeah. No, you're all right. Every week it's like a mess. I don't think it's ideal to play quite well in a semi-final and then enter the final with like it just felt like everything was in the air. You're right. Like it was like, even though the only change we actually made was Rafinha's technically come out for Pedri, right?
No, Rafinha.
That's obviously he started the semi-final.
Yeah.
Is that the only one change? But
but the system.
Yes, that's everything changed. Like Sergio Roberto on left wing. Oh, I mean, if you're going to start Sergio Roberto on a flat four midfield, and why do I get the feeling we did this at Old Trafford as well last year in that game we went out in the Europa League? I feel like Sergio Roberto also started left mid in it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a problem with Roberto. I don't have a problem.
At left mid, because he feels so awkward there, boy. Because he's not a player to take people on. He's not a winger. So when he gets the ball at left wing, it's a touch on the left foot, drag back, and pass back.
He's just a body.
Exactly.
Body to make 11 players up. That's what I mean.
Like, we had too many passengers there. Him and Gundogan. I'm like, what are they adding to the team in midfield? I'm sorry. It was just, for all the stats of 100% pass accuracy or whatnot, like, come on, do something.
Yeah, that's what I'm really not sure here. So I'm gonna make a pause and I'm gonna let people start commenting and doing those things because I want to know what's up with Xavi. What's your opinion with that? Because let's be honest, if we make an analysis and we actually put things into a balance, I think it's not fair to just say everything's Xavi's fault because like the injuries, the transfer window, everything, that's things he cannot control. The performance of the players either is not good, but what I mean is that consistency that I talked about. I think that's a real issue, and I don't know where we go from here. That's a problem. There's no real solution, is there? Like, what are we going to just play Lamine Yamal for the rest of the season until he eventually gets injured?
That's what worries me, Bulga. So it's like we've conceded 4 goals in a final. Usually you'd say change the defense. Who on earth in that defence do you change? Because there's not a problem with that defence. Do you get what I mean? There's not a problem with a back line of Koundé, Araujo, Christensen and Balde. That's literally perfect. They've got pace, physicality, power. They work well together. They're organised. They're young. They're fit. Like, we've conceded 4 goals. Of course, when Ter Stegen comes back in, that helps. Other than getting in a new midfielder, what can we do? And that's not going to happen. And you're right. What do we do in attack? Keep changing it every week? Because obviously right now it's Lewandowski plus God knows who else. Plus whoever's like managed to get like an assist like away to Las Palmas the day before or something. It's all up in the air. So I think that's where Barcelona fans are struggling now, Bulgars. Like
let's play a quick game. Does Barcelona have a better attack than Porto?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does Barcelona have a better attack than Arsenal? No. No, there's no way. Martinelli, Saka, and Gabriel Jesus.
Jesus.
Dude,
The striker who says his strong suit isn't scoring goals.
Okay, I've never heard that, but come on. I think their attack is better.
Really?
What do you
yeah,
think?
maybe.
I do think that. Okay, Napoli. I think their attack is better. I think just having Osimhen is better than Gabriel. Look,
where is this going?
I'm just comparing, comparing against PSG. I think their attack, player-wise in quality, I think PSG's attack is better.
Yeah.
Real Sociedad, I think they're consistent. Inter, I think their attack is better. Atletico Madrid, I think that simply Griezmann is more than half of what we have right now. PSV, yeah, we're better than PSV. Morata is on fire. Dortmund, I think that they play only with one striker really, so it's not. I cannot compare that. Lazio, I think that Immobile, Sakagni. Who else do they have? Felipe Anderson. On their day, they can be better. Bayern, they're better. Copenhagen, no way. Man City, better. Leipzig, and then Dortmund, Real Madrid, I think it's better. So when we take a look at actual quality-wise, I think in Barcelona as a whole, are we really that good? Like attack-wise. Yeah. When you look at our options, literally it's Lewandowski, who is kind of decreasing his career. We have João Felix, who's an unknown quantity. We have Ferran Torres, that is sort of like scores goals, but he doesn't get he can't catch a break. Then we have Lamine Yamal, who's 16. We have Rafinha, who is like supposed to be amazing, which is amazing, but he doesn't score goals. And then that's it.
Yeah, no, you're right. I do think there's a bit of a problem in the team where on paper it sounds really good, our team, but in reality, performances every week. Like, because I've had that. Sometimes I've been watching us Bulgar, and say it's like a close-up shot of a throw-in, and you see the players stood around, Araujo, Cancelo, Pedri's there, Gundogan, and like De Jong, and I'm thinking like, wow, what a team we've built. But I'm saying in reality of how they've played this season, I think you're right. And then you look to attack and João Felix, Rafinha, Lewandowski, you think, wow. But how they've actually played this season, it's been so subpar, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think you can allow yourself as a team to have one player in that situation. You know, like there's always one player in. Well, I mean, yeah, there's always that one player who's up for debate in any team. But Barcelona is like every single player in attack is that.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Every single player is that. So I don't think we are helping ourselves by having that. And I mean, Dembele, he left, but he would have been such a difference in this team right now. Such a difference. Don't underestimate how good of a player he is, actually. He's really good. Yeah. And I think that's a very big problem. We cannot build. There's no solution like we were talking about. And... Yeah, I don't know what else. I had one point here that I forgot about that I wanted to talk about, but I'm not too sure. Do you have anything right now that you want to put out?
Not much. I do wonder what the future of Vitor Roque is, though, Bulgar. Because he came in with a lot of promise. The club have invested an awful lot of money in him. We don't really have much money. What's his role? Because he seems a little bit in the dark at the moment, which worries me a little bit. But, I mean, I'm hoping in the next few weeks he actually gets to play a bit.
Did he play against Osasuna? No, right?
No.
No
minutes in the Supercopa?
It's hard for him to... Like, you cannot bring Vitor Roque in this situation. Like, if the game was 3-1, you can bring him in. But 4-1 is like game over. And... What I was going to say... do you want to discuss quickly Araujo?
Yeah.
I wanted to discuss Araujo in this game.
Yeah.
He was awful. Yeah. Like he had Araujo, I think individually is a very good defender. He certainly can beat Vinicius in certain situations, but I think his mind got like his head just went in this game. What do you think?
Sorry, my computer is completely glitched there. Am I back?
I was gonna say. What do you think of Araujo in this game? Like his head just went.
Bit like me then. People say that his head is in Bayern ever since the rumours, don't they? I don't know if that's true, but I do think in recent weeks Didn't we speak about it a few weeks ago? I feel like was it the Girona game maybe? His performances are dropping off massively. Positionally, he's just not on it. Like I don't really know what's wrong with him of late. But I mean, I also think there's a bit of an issue sometimes. I know it's worked so well, but if we're going to play that high, to move up the back line so much, because Araujo centre back and Koundé right back especially has been working so well. I feel like it undermines Koundé a little bit, saying you're not skilled to take on Vinicius. Let's pull you inside. I think that's a bit of a problem, but. With Araujo, I don't know. I still back Araujo, to be honest with you, Bulgar, to go on and be one of like, the greats of Barcelona. I still do rate him, but I would agree that someone who's usually like an 8 out of 10 every game is dropping to 6s and 5s, and that's worrying.
Yeah,
same as everyone. It's like the whole team is catching it. It's like a virus going through the team at the moment, isn't it? It's like no one's catching a break. Everyone's dipping. Even the most consistent players are playing poorly. That's a worry.
Yeah, I hopefully it's not the Bayern thing. Let's hope not. What about do you think it was a penalty?
I think that's cheap. To be honest with you, I think that's really cheap. I mean, I don't know if I can go on another refereeing rant here. I've got to be careful because today was not about the referees, but everyone knows my opinions on refereeing in Spain and with the history of Real Madrid and whatnot. Referee couldn't wait to get the whistle to his lips. Couldn't wait. Look at the anger on his face when he pointed to the spot, screaming in Araujo's face. I thought, mate, you can try and hide it a little bit, who you grew up supporting, but fine, you know. I thought, Bulgar, for something that contentious, like that, I think it was not like Araujo swiped him out. I didn't think that was like stonewall, you know. And the referee was having none of it. And then for the second yellow as well, I don't know how much he actually catches him. You know, I think there was a lot of dramatising. What about a word on Vinicius as well, by the way?
In what sense?
Like his attitude.
Look.
I know
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. If I scored a freaking hat trick in a Clásico, like, and people are throwing me shit, like, that's not the problem here. Like Vinicius, he can do whatever he wants. He's a great player. He scored 3 goals. Let him be. Doing 4-1. Come on. I do that when I play freaking tennis with my friend. It's okay. I'm not defending Vinicius. He's crap as well. Like douchebag. When he plays, I don't know the Vinicius behind the scenes. Maybe he's an amazing guy, Vinicius. Call me up. But in the game, like, we cannot really take it there, and I don't want to take it there. Like Vinicius, do whatever he wants. Wouldn't you do that? Wouldn't you do it? Like if you were look like. That's what I mean. Like right now, that's not the problem.
His attitude is constant. But yeah, I do agree.
Yeah, like I think it's more of what we can change about it. Like we simply shouldn't be. What do you call it? We are bending to that. It's like, you know, have you ever heard the bullies in school? Like the more you show the bully you're actually frustrated with what he's doing, the more he's gonna act on it. Because like the moment somebody realizes that whatever you're doing is not funny, or it's not making you angry, they stop because they want to find another way. So I think that's what we're doing with Vinicius by talking like this about it. Yeah. So. Yeah, what the thing right now is, what do we do with Barcelona? And what's the next game, Pablo, in our schedule?
Unionistas in the Copa del Rey round of 16 on Thursday night.
Would you be an advocate for just squad refresh? Let this guy rest because some of them are going to be paying the price. Like, let the guys in this game who played good, who not played good, I don't think any single Barcelona player played good, but like, I just don't want to say Ferran Torres. But Ferran Torres, Pedri, and like Frankie de Jong, leave them out. You know, leave them out of the game against Unionistas. Put Araujo in. Put Gundogan in. Put Valde in. Put Lewandowski in, even if he scored. Put Iñaki Peña in. And then just put Fermín, Vitor Roque. Just forget about, you know what I mean? Just refresh.
Yeah.
Refresh.
I think, yeah.
Give us a breath of fresh air.
But for me, it's one of those. On the Sunday, we've got Real Betis, which is a huge game in La Liga for us. If we want, I don't think we've got much hope, but if we have that 1%, 2%, 3% hope of winning the title, we have to win that game, and it would also be a bit of a statement win after all of this drama to go and get through in the Copa and then beat Betis. What are you shaking your head?
Statement? Come on.
In the current state we're in, I think no one is expecting us to win these games right now. No.
That's the thing. I think they're expecting us to win these games. That's the
I
thing.
mean, we have
Barcelona
to.
always have the expectation of winning these games.
Yeah, we know we have to win them, but in the current state, I don't think anyone would be shocked if we don't. So the way I see it is, I'm sort of already thinking about my lineup for Betis on Sunday, and I think it almost picks itself, like the midfield three of Pedri, Gundogan, and De Jong, probably right. And then you look further forward, you can either do Fermin as a fourth midfielder, and then up front, probably like João Felix and Lewandowski, or Lamine as well on the wing, I expect. So then in the cup game, I suppose I'm starting everyone else really. I think I start Victor Roque in the cup.
Yeah,
he needs to start. He needs to start a game. I'm not going to lie. He's come in for big money. He's scored a lot of goals in Brazil. Get him in the team. Victor Roque has to start for me Thursday night. Other than that, yeah, Fermin of course is another must start in there. I mean, in the defence, do we even have anyone we can rotate? By the way, right now.
No, I don't think we can afford that. I guess you want to bring like Cubarsí or something like that.
Exactly, that's what I mean. So what defence will be similar? So after that hammering, he'll probably, I think, will leave in quite a lot of the stars, if you like. I think that's going to be a really strong team Thursday, and probably a pretty similar one on Sunday against Betis.
Yeah, I mean that's what Xavi's gonna do, and I think, but I do want to repeat myself again and say like, I think Xavi now, he needs to find a solution like as ASAP. ASAP, he needs to find a solution. If Barcelona get knocked out by Napoli in the round of 16, which is totally possible, even though Napoli are playing bad themselves as well, I think it's over.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's over. Not because I think it's getting to the point, and this is the same thing that I said with Valverde. I think it's going to happen the same thing. It's getting to the point where something needs to change. And even though the problem isn't entirely the manager, it's way easier and cheaper to sack the manager to create that change and make a catalyst rather than stand by the manager. You know what I mean? It's like it's getting to the point where if something's going to change, if something's going to give, it's probably going to be Xavi. Even though it's not entirely his fault.
Yeah, I agree.
It's getting to that point.
So then, if you imagine, I think we're almost all in consensus. No La Liga this season, and no Champions League. Copa del Rey at maximum. I even doubt we'll win that. Surely, Bulgar, that means Xavi gone. So to wrap up the episode, my question is: we start next pre-season. Is Xavi the Barcelona manager or not?
Like right now, I'm blinded by the result. Like I'm complete. I have like a black cloud over me. So I'm probably gonna say no. Yeah. And there's nothing right now.
Fair enough.
Yeah, there's right now no argument for me to suggest so otherwise. Like there's nothing right now that I can say, okay, Xavi stay. Of course, we have to see how it goes. Particularly because if he stays, Laporte is a bigger man. Fair play, keep Xavi, but then do things right. Have a transfer window that makes sense. You have already saved, like, come on, we have to get money out of somewhere. Like, I don't know what else. The Puma deal, make it, I don't know. Do something, Just put your own money into the club, some shit. Start creating some OnlyFans content or something. Like, we need money. Please, people, donate to Barcelona because it's getting tiresome. And I'm no longer enjoying. And for the very first time, Pablo. Yeah. How many times have you heard me doing this? For the very first time. For the very first time this season, I missed a Barcelona game. I have missed Barcelona games before, but I missed it like saying, okay, I'm probably gonna do this or a thing instead of watching the game. Because I was like, we're probably gonna draw that game.
Which one was it?
The very first game of the season.
Getafe.
Yeah, I was like, we're totally gonna draw the game. We drew. Then
it was a good decision.
Yeah, this year, I did the very same thing. I've always watched the every game of the Champions League group stages, even though we are through in the last one. I didn't watch Royal Antwerp.
Yeah.
I've always watched it, and I've never done. And for the very first time in my lifetime as well, Barcelona, come on, please don't ruin my love for football. I stopped watching a game after a scoreline was too big for me to just digest. I was like 3-1. Okay, it's 4. I'm out. And I was out. They scored 4 goals. Rodrigo scored. Turned off the TV. Started playing some PS5. I turned it off. I kid you not. I turned it off.
You didn't watch the last half an hour then?
No.
Well, you missed a cracker now. Really?
Revelations.
I think that's going to hit hard to some of the listeners.
Yeah, it's a change, but that's how far we're falling.
That's fair enough. Life goes on, I think, is the way. I mean, I used to get massively bogged up with these things. I think as you get older, there might be some people listening who are like devastated about these things. As you get older, other things come into life, honestly, and thankfully, defeats like this aren't at the forefront of your mind 24/7, which is a much nicer place to be, and I'll tell you that for free.
I mean, in school,
but-
if you're in school, I pray for you right now.
Yeah, it's a vile place to be, but school's a vile place to be, full stop, really.
Yeah.
I never listened to any of that crap, of you want to stay young, you want to get older, get your independence, start doing things with your life. I've always thought that.
Yeah, you want to do that, boys. You really, really want to do. Now, if you're being depressed by Barcelona, just
Exactly, yeah.
relax. It's a game. But I know it's not a game, but like there's nothing right now you can do. You know what? We have to wait for the next game. So that's where we're gonna be.
And it is of similar opposition in Unionista, so it should be like a comparative test to Real Madrid, lads.
Yeah, it's very much, particularly in the sense that we're gonna attack and they're gonna be on their counter attack and they're gonna hit us on the counter and probably score like 30 goals. So yeah, that's gonna happen as well. I heard Unionista has a certain like Mustache John up top. He's gonna score a hat trick.
Who?
Mustache John.
Oh. I don't know what I'd do if I turn on the TV and saw Moustache John warming up for Unionistas.
Imagine the scene.
I think I'd have an asthma attack.
Yeah.
Right then, Bulga, shall we wrap up, son, so we can... Well, I'm going to go to bed soon. I think I've had enough for the day.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with football right now, to be honest. I'm honestly looking forward to watching the United Spurs game. It looked like a cracker.
Oh, are you going to rewatch the whole thing?
Yeah, because I normally have like Saturday or Sunday, it's like football day.
Yeah.
But now it's like I watch the game and it's like fuck, what the fuck? Like there was no football because at the start of the game it was ruined. 10 minutes in, we didn't even hold 10 minutes in. So yeah, it's a little bit annoying.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, hopefully you have a nice day, a nice recovery. We wish you all the best. John, if you're listening, we wish you a very nice anniversary and hope everything is going well. And Barça fans, from the deepest of our heart, let us know what do you think about this game. How do you feel? Xavi in. For the very first time ever, I'm going to say Xavi out, maybe, question mark. And yeah, let us know really and just recover from this. Like, it's fine. If Real Madrid fans come their way and they go, haha, we won. Fair game, GG, well played, good game, you played well. It's our fault, and you just have to look retrospective to yourself. What can we improve? That's the way to go. Shark mentality.
That's it.
You go, boys.
All right, boys. Take care.
Goodbye. Bye.